Hello, this is Daryl Pillsbury for Marijuana Resolve, along with Vidda Crochetta, who is the state coordinator for Marijuana Resolve. We're here today. We're going to give you a little bit of some more on what's going on in Montpelier. We hope you enjoyed our last show on the 10 rules for dealing with police, which was shot right here at Brattleboro Library, and it gave us a little bit of how we should respond. So today we're going to speak a little bit about what's going on up in the legislature. We have Dan Riffle is going to give us a little update. So Vidda, why don't you start us off here today?
All right. BCTV viewers, I have a hot off the press update from Dan Riffle, who is the legislative analyst at the Marijuana Policy Project in Washington, D.C., and he is also on Marijuana Resolve's Board of Advisors. I'm actually going to play it from the little tape recorder that I picked it up from. This was just about an hour ago, and I'm going to play it twice, just so because you folks out there who are concerned about this issue, these issues, in fact, he's going to give us an update on S17 for the medical marijuana dispensaries, and for H427, which is the decriminalization bill in the House. This is Dan Riffle.
Operations Committee, which is chaired by Senator Jeanette White.
That's my fault. I thought the thing was, it's not rewound. Okay, now it is.
Okay, go. So, Senate Bill 17, which would add dispensaries to the existing medical marijuana law in Vermont. That bill has been approved by the Government Operations Committee, which is chaired by Senator Jeanette White. It's now headed over to the Finance Committee, where we should have the votes, and we expect it to be passed by the Finance Committee. It'll then go to the Senate floor for a vote. So people should be talking to their senators and urging them to support that bill. The other bill that everyone wants to know about is decriminalization. It was introduced late in the session because there were prolonged negotiations with Governor Shumlin's team and his appointees, particularly Keith Flynn, who directs the Department of Public Safety. But the bill has been introduced, and it should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. The Speaker of the House has expressed some reservations, and Governor Shumlin, who supports the bill, has been discussing the bill with Shep Smith and everyone else involved, and urging everyone to get behind the bill. It's being pitched as an opportunity for law enforcement to focus their resources on OxyContin abuse, which is becoming very serious in Vermont, and violent crime and other more real threats to public safety than just marijuana. So that bill should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. We're awaiting a hearing date on that. But that's where we stand with decrim. It should be moving within the next week or two. Dispensaries is moving right now, and hopefully will be passed by the full Senate in the next week.
That's great, Dan. Good. I'll make sure that's included, so that's very helpful.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Vidda.
Good. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye.
So let's rewind that again. We'll play that again.
Okay, it's important to hear. He's given that's good information.
It is good information, and when it heads over to the Senate, I believe it will be, he said, Judiciary Committee, which is Senator Dick Sears is the chair, and he is a co-sponsor of the Senate bill that's over there, along with Jeanette White, for the dispensary bills.
Okay.
So he is somebody that I think we can work with. We may want to let him say that one more time, Vidda.
Yes, let's do that. And you know, we need to we need to get this bill out of the House Judiciary Committee, because that's
going to take some work.
That's some work, because I don't think that Chairman Bill Lippert is opposed to it that I've heard of at this point. I think they're considering it. I'm not sure exactly.
I wouldn't call him that he's really opposed, but he's not what I would say is a supporter, and he's got other things that are taking priorities right now.
Yeah.
So what we need is for you people out there, this is when you do matter, because if you would just call the Sergeant of Arms at the State House, and unfortunately I think it's 1-800-828-5616, 1-800-828-5616. I'm not absolutely positive on that number, and I hope I don't give a bad number, but we really need folks to call. And we do have a legislative directory listing on our website.
We
now,
do, that's
we?
right. You can go to www.marijuanaresolve.org, and this information you can pick up. So
Do we have that on our website now?
we have the ways for
people to get in contact with their legislators, right?
with their legislators,
Yeah.
including Chairman Lippert and their individual legislators around the state. So let's play this one more time. Dan is giving us some very good information here.
And he is one of our fellow advisory board members.
And he is one of our...
Okay, go.
So, Senate Bill 17, which would add dispensaries to the existing medical marijuana law in Vermont, that bill has been approved by the Government Operations Committee, which is chaired by Senator Jeanette White. It's now headed over to the Finance Committee, where we should have the votes, and we expect it to be passed by the Finance Committee. It'll then go to the Senate floor for a vote. So people should be talking to their senators and urging them to support that bill. The other bill that everyone wants to know about is decriminalization. It was introduced late in the session because there were prolonged negotiations with Governor Shumlin's team and his appointees, particularly Keith Flynn, who directs the Department of Public Safety. But the bill has been introduced, and it should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. The Speaker of the House has expressed some reservations, and Governor Shumlin, who supports the bill, has been discussing the bill with Shep Smith and everyone else involved, and urging everyone to get behind the bill. It's being pitched as an opportunity for law enforcement to focus their resources on OxyContin abuse, which is becoming very serious in Vermont, and violent crime and other more real threats to public safety than just marijuana. And so that bill should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. We're awaiting a hearing date on that. But that's where we stand with decrim. It should be moving within the next week or two. Dispensaries is moving right now, and hopefully will be passed by the full Senate in the next week.
Well,
That's
good.
great, Dan.
See
Good.
how-
I'll make sure that's included.
He's
so
such a great
that's
guy.
very helpful.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Vidda.
Good. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, Dan Riffle.
That was the voice of Dan Riffle from the Marijuana Policy Project in Washington, D.C. You can visit them online at www.mpp.org. I've had to request to comb my hair.
Maybe I should start talking, Joe, and flip over to me. Jeez, crow.
Hey, Cookie, come here.
Hey, huh? Hey, listen, and one of the reasons why I got involved in this was because of being on the legislature and seeing how much money we were spending and stuff, and plus I sat on corrections and oversight committee. I can tell you, in 1970, 200,000 people were in prison for, and this is U.S. prisons,
Right.
for marijuana abuse. That was in 1970.
Right.
Here we are, 2010, and we have, actually the last numbers I got were for 2008,
Right.
and we had 880,000 Americans in prison for minor marijuana offenses. And to me, that is incredibly a waste of our money, a waste of our personnel for law enforcement. And to be quite honest, I think that, we could use those types of funds on serious crime and other things, and especially the money we could save in the prison system itself, which is one of the things that this governor, Governor Shumlin, does support a decrim bill for this reason of trying to bring down the corrections budget, which now stands at $145 million a year in Vermont, which is incredibly ridiculous. We could cut that down a considerable amount. We figure $50 million by their numbers by decrimming marijuana.
Yeah, it's really interesting just how much money we could save taxpayers, and particularly for a benign drug like, really no matter what the Brattleboro area Prevention Coalition says, marijuana is elementally probably the most benign drug that you can find that's available for adult consumption. It beats out alcohol, it beats out any of the hard drugs. It's probably as benign as drinking coffee in that sense. And the fact that we, have to put people in prison for it is just unbelievable. It's way out of proportion to what happens when adults use that drug, and we really should stop putting adults in prison for that. And we're hoping that Vermont can at least recognize that the issue of doing I called it harm reduction, which, by the way, is an old term, as you know. And harm reduction, I see decrim as a part of the harm reduction package. And the simple reason is that, as the bill will do, it is true that you'll have a $150 fine for if you're arrested for possession. However, you do not go to jail. You do not get a criminal record, and you don't go through diversion. In fact, you're not really part of the criminal justice system.
It's like a traffic ticket.
In a sense,
traffic court.
It's about as benign as that. And so that the state will make some money from these arrests, but the harm that's done, that's visited upon you in the criminal justice system, far outweighs any harm a person could do to themselves smoking marijuana. And I'm talking about adults. I'm not talking about kids. Interestingly enough, in the H-27 bill, they have a section of it that involves 18 to 20-year-olds where they will go through a type of diversion. Not an adult, but an 18
It's probably
to
like
20.
the youth services type of thing. If you get caught drinking, you
Yes.
go through a diversion. And
That's
it's
right.
another little arm of funding. It's another funding mechanism for youth services.
Yes, that's
Which is fine, folks. I support youth services, but some of the way we fund them, gets to me a little bit.
yeah, and you know what?
know?
We're making money off of the backs of people who are engaging in private activity.
Oh, like crazy in all sorts of different ways. Even the drinkers go through that.
Right. By the way, I don't agree with the, and Joe, this is important for people to know. I don't agree with the 21. You want to send our young people to die in Afghanistan? When they come home at 19, you let them drink if they want. If they want to smoke pot, you let them smoke. I don't agree with the 18 to 20. But if that's what we have to deal with, then that's what we'll have, and it's acceptable to me because when we were kids during the Vietnam era, we were the ones that reduced the alcohol drinking down to 18 because that's what we were saying then. Look, you want us to go to Vietnam and die, why can't we drink?
Vermont was one of the last states to go back to 21, and the only reason we did it was because of the federal dollars attached to raising your drinking age.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
That came with
that's
money, just like most things do when they want to entice you into that. But we were holding off for a long time. Vermont was one of the last states to go to 21 drinking age.
Well, our legislature, to their credit, has shown a great deal of common sense. I mean,
They're a citizens legislature. They're only part-time, and most of the time they're out and about. That's why I love it.
Right, right.
They are not professional politicians who that's all they do for a living.
That's right. They are part of the community. They know pretty much.
They go back to their jobs, which could be anything from like me, a maintenance guy, to a senator who was a diplomat, to Jeanette White. I mean, we got housewives, farmers,
Right.
lawyer. We got it all.
Exactly.
And I love it, and I think that is a good thing.
Right.
And you hit on something that gets to me too. One of the big things for me about the marijuana thing is the kids that, and I am with Vidda. Personally, I'd like to see it totally legalized, but for adults only, just like the liquor model that we've talked about many times on this show. But there are kids that have scholarship money. They're getting ready to go to college. They may go and do something stupid during their prom night, like maybe go party and they get caught with marijuana. And it may have been their first time, it may not have. I don't really care, okay? But unless it's happened to one of your kids and you don't realize the problems involved, they could pay that price for a lifetime. Because you lose so much that I did not even know about. All of a sudden, you're going to lose scholarships. The school might not take you. Yes, it was your fault. I am a person that believes in accountability, but also I am a person who believes in mistakes and stuff, and I do not like unjust laws. And I would also, because I don't want to get into this again, but I would invite people to do a little homework on the history of why marijuana is now illegal. As a matter of fact, Captain Joe, who was up here and talked about the 10 rules for dealing with the police, knew his history too, which I was very happy about.
Right.
So that is another reason for me. I just feel that, you know, like I said, folks, a lot of what I've dealt with in my time has been with what I've seen and what I've learned and just real life experiences. And real life experiences have taught me that the real killers out there are the people drinking.
You know, now
and the people doing the legal drugs.
Oh, the
and I can prove that to you any way you want.
Alcohol,
because
yes.
I can show you statistics from the hospital I work at. Nobody's coming in for marijuana. It may be a secondary thing, but they are not coming in with marijuana and being treated for it. They're coming in because either they're under 18 and they're drunk as crazy and they have alcohol poisoning, or they're on a prescribed drug illegally or even with a doctor's prescription, or the biggest one, alcohol related.
And as Dan was just pointing out a few minutes ago, OxyContin and prescription drugs.
Huge.
Huge and much harder on you than marijuana could possibly be. And he's right. We need to focus on what really hurts us.
And that's, you know, and you brought it up, you know, and we do this. One of the things the Prevention Coalition people are always going to say, and I don't care if they're from Brattleboro, Burlington, wherever, is they're going to say all the bad things. Oh, my goodness gracious, all the bad things that folks, all you got to do with your prescription drug is open it up and actually read the side effects. The side effects that they list are unbelievable.
That's right.
Hey,
That's right.
I mean, come on.
And by the way,
let me choose what side effects I want to have.
You know what's interesting is that the prevention people, see, well,
they get funded too through that.
You know,
somewhat.
Our viewers should know this. Daryl and I are not here to advocate people using marijuana, but neither are we here to prevent adults from using it. The prevention people are the ones who only give you, it's a black and white situation for them. What they want to do is prevent it and oftentimes prohibit. And prevention and prohibition leads to arrest. And so what do you have? You have the situation where instead of allowing adults to make their own decision, they're saying, we want to make a decision for you.
Yeah.
Prevention and prohibition. And that's not, and to me, you don't do
not
that.
Even a democratic process in this country.
Not in a democratic process, not to adults who want to make their own decision. And by the way, they've kind of introduced the idea of this new idea of 18 to 25, as if they want to change the age of adulthood from 21. What do they want to do? They want to make it 25? Look, if you're 21 years old and the Vermont State Legislature says that at 21 you're an adult, well then leave it alone, prevention people, because that means that, you know, just because they want to talk about your brain growing from, come on, you know.
I'll put my brain up against half the people out there.
When I was 20,
on a good day, though.
That's right. When I was on a really good day. When I was 21, as it is now, I'll match my wits against anyone. I don't care what the deal is.
I'm telling you, that is such. There's so many myths, though, Vid, and you and I know both of them.
And it's mythology about the brain as well.
And it's the scare tactics,
That's
like you
right.
said. And I'm not even against the prevention coalitions. I think they serve a purpose. Okay?
They do.
There are people of all points that abuse everything. Okay, and as a person who has been there and done that, I got that addictive personality. I do have to be careful with things I do. But I can tell you, I don't need anybody telling me what's good for me and what's not good for me, because the doctors have already done that.
That's right.
And all the crap they were giving me wasn't working very well.
That's right. And not only that, you know.
You know, so, I mean, come on, you guys, please. And like we've also said, this does come down to money. The Prevention Coalition
Right.
people,
They
they
get
get money from
boatload
this.
of money.
Okay,
Boatload of money.
your law enforcement from
Right.
the marijuana side of the drugs,
Right.
it's unbelievable how much money they get.
Yes.
Corrections officers, why do you think they want to keep people in prison?
Oh.
Their job security.
And
I mean,
think
it
and
goes
think about
on
and
and
think
on
about
and on.
privatization of prisons. I mean, come on.
Which is what we're getting to big time.
Privatization of prisons means numbers, and let me tell you something.
Means numbers and no programming.
No,
Okay? They do it as cheap as they possibly
You
can.
got it. So that and privatized prisons wants you. And they want you badly because they have a voracious appetite. And so what they'll do is they'll take all of those adults who use marijuana and put them through their grinder for their economic benefit. And that's about as disgusting as you can find in any society.
We had a lobbyist for the correctional, I can't remember their whole name now. It was a Correctional Institute of America, I guess. I don't think that's exactly it, but
It's
they
close
had
enough.
it's close enough. Private correctional that was in
Right.
Tennessee and Kentucky,
Right.
and in Arizona,
And I think California also, I
Oklahoma.
believe.
Well, these people were all over the place.
Yeah.
They had a lot of beds. They were in our committee almost on a daily basis, and they would always welcome us sending prisoners to there.
Absolutely.
And we did it because you know why? We could save. It's $52,000 for to put a average person in a Vermont prison, because we do have to give you other programs and stuff, because we just don't throw you in and let you rot. These other prisons, you get thrown in there. There is no programming. We saved $20,000 to $22,000 per person. So what do you think we did when we didn't have any beds left in Vermont?
Sorry, Joe.
We send them there. I was talking loud enough. They might not have caught it. But
Hey,
you
it
know,
pays to buy the best.
it's just a no-brainer for me. I know it's not for a lot of people out there, and that's the people we got to get. And you know something else?
Right.
We do got to tell them about our website one more time.
Well, we're going to do it. In fact, folks, we're going to bug you about our website, because you know what, we're getting a fair amount of response. We're getting a better response for our website than honestly we thought we would, and we're at www.marijuanaresolve.org.
Right there on the screen.
And it says it just there, and what it means is that we want a resolution for this. We no longer want adults to be subject to the criminal justice system the way they are now. And Daryl was mentioning about how we ship our prisoners out of state.
Young kids.
There was well, a lot of young people go in there, and
Bad prisons too, Vidda.
What's that?
They're a lot different than a Vermont prison, let me tell you.
And they're different. They're not here.
We're
at
giving them a
home
hell of
with
an
us.
education.
And down in Kentucky, as you said, or elsewhere. And by the way, there was a recent study that indicated that the savings that Vermont got by sending them out of state was really not that great, and was not significant enough to actually send them out of state. And so our point is let's not send adults who use marijuana anywhere. You know where they belong? At home.
Yeah.
They belong at home. Leave us the hell alone.
Yeah, that's the thing right there.
I mean, it's not.
I don't get it.
It's not right. It's not right to do that. And getting back to kids, by the way, one of the provisions in the H427 decriminalization proposed law,
Which I gave and you
which by the way you can read if you go to our website, you can bring it up very quickly and you can read the entire text, is the issue that you brought about young people losing their education.
More than you would ever believe.
Now you can double check this, folks,
couldn't believe how many.
when you read the bill itself. But I'm pretty certain that our legislature has the good sense, as in the 18 to 20-year-old provision of the law. I think that one of the provisions is that they do not lose their education. Let's
Well, that's
double check
good.
that, folks. But I'm pretty right, Joe, shaking his head.
Yeah, that's
and that is vital, because while I may disagree with the 21 versus 18 business, that's beside the point. That's a personal viewpoint. But by having our legislature protect our 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds who are going to school, our representatives obviously know that's vital, and that's good. Thank you, the sponsors of the bill, Jason Lorber, and I think there are two other co-sponsors, and I apologize for not remembering their names, but it's also, you can find out who they are
No, that's
on
not.
the bill.
No, I gave you the Senate one.
Is this the Senate?
Yeah,
one?
I only
Okay.
gave you the Senate.
So in any case, it's the whole process. The reason why Daryl and I are here under the hot lights, and boy, is it hot under these lights. I mean, I can't. I got to get a haircut, folks.
What?
This is really
You know what?
I
That could be a
guess-
fundraiser. We'll do a fundraiser.
Viewers,
Yeah. Yeah. But, we'll fundraise. That's it. We're going to have a fundraiser for Marijuana
Right.
Resolve. Vidda's going to cut his hair maybe 10 inches. I don't know. We don't want to scare him.
inch by inch, right?
You know, but maybe we should do that.
Let's take it easy. You see
I
this?
mean, don't just cut it for nothing.
No. In fact, you can have your hair.
And I'll grow mine longer.
You're longer.
Hey.
What? See, the locks of love will take your
Hair.
Your hair. I think 8 inches and more. So if
Yeah.
I take off 8 inches here, you know, like, Jesus,
You look almost like me.
I mean, this is long stuff. I look like you. I look
You
like
almost
you.
look like me. You
No,
take
no,
off
I
8
have-
inches.
I have. No, I have a way to go, Daryl,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
I'd
down to
say.
you. By the way, folks, I'm diabetic and I'm having a low sugar attack.
Right
And
now?
yeah, and I can
You might
tell
have
it.
to leave for a minute.
No, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to go over and get some.
don't
We
do
have
it on
3
film.
minutes. All right, I'll bear
You
with
tough
you.
it out. I can talk for 3 minutes.
No, it's not that. It's that I'm
So listen, we have 3 minutes.
I'm insulin dependent, folks.
That's the way it goes.
Right.
We have 3 minutes left.
You want to do Dan again because Dan is giving us.
Let's do one more. Let's go
do
ahead.
Dan,
Dan is an
and-
important part of our whole thing.
Because
Give
he's-
one more quick.
Okay,
then
again, Dan Riffle, legislative analyst for the Marijuana Policy Project in Washington, D.C., has brought us an update just about an hour ago. And this group is very, very good. They have terrific people.
And then after that, even though it's on our website, I would like to list the people we have as our advisory board. 'Cause
Yes,
we have a good
we'll
advisory
do
board
that.
now.
Okay, let's listen to Dan
All right.
about for updates in the Vermont legislature.
Uh-oh.
Go.
Go. I like that part.
So, Senate Bill 17, which would add dispensaries to the existing medical marijuana law in Vermont, that bill has been approved by the Government Operations Committee, which is chaired by Senator Jeanette White. It's now headed over to the Finance Committee, where we should have the votes, and we expect it to be passed by the Finance Committee. It'll then go to the Senate floor for a vote. So people should be talking to their senators and urging them to support that bill. The other bill that everyone wants to know about is decriminalization. It was introduced late in the session because there were prolonged negotiations with Governor Shumlin's team and his appointees, particularly Keith Flynn, who directs the Department of Public Safety. But the bill has been introduced, and it should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. The Speaker of the House has expressed some reservations, and Governor Shumlin, who supports the bill, has been discussing the bill with Shep Smith and everyone else involved and urging everyone to get behind the bill. It's being pitched as an opportunity for law enforcement to focus their resources on OxyContin abuse, which is becoming very serious in Vermont, and violent crime and other more real threats to public safety than just marijuana. So that bill should be heard by the Judiciary Committee very soon. We're awaiting a hearing date on that. But that's where we stand with decrim. It should be moving within the next week or two. Dispensaries is moving right now, and hopefully will be passed by the full Senate in the next week.
Okay.
That's great, Dan. Good. I'll make sure that's included.
I love that.
So,
That's
that's
great.
very helpful.
Okay?
Good.
great.
Good. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Very good. And he
Thank
is
you,
a
Dan.
advisory board member. And let's give a...
Dan Riffle was the first person to join our board of advisors. We have Jim Maxwell,
local attorney.
who is a local attorney. We have Sheila Linton from the Vermont Partnership for Diversity and Fairness.
We have Joe, our
Joe Bushy, who is
producer.
one of our producers, and he's also on the board of directors for BCTV. We have Richard Davis, who is
registered nurse for the Vermont Citizens Campaign for Health.
That's right. And Captain Joe Brooks, who's a retired police officer from the now he was down in Connecticut, but Joe, this is still a national issue. And we have Steve Silverman from Flex Your Rights.
Which is another good one.
Right, and so
And then on the board of directors, it's you, it's me, and it's also Paul Bennett,
And-
who is also a Flex Your Rights. And what else does he do?
Yeah, well, Paul is a building coordinator in New York City, but he's on the board of Flex Your Rights, and he's a treasurer of Marijuana Resolve. So thank you, Paul Bennett. You're wonderful.
Okay, now we got a minute left to wrap it up, so I guess we would have to say, listen, how are you doing on your show? Has that been ditched? Are you still working on the show that you and...
The documentary.
Yes.
The
we do have some-
soothsayer up in Wallingford, Vermont, was arrested for growing medical marijuana outside for her son.
Condition.
And we're working on a documentary with Joe Mastriani, and now it's not easy. We admit that.
Jeff, by the way.
It's I meant Jeff.
Yeah. Let's get his name right.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff
no,
Mastriani.
we're all right.
And we hope to have that within the next several months. That'll be interesting.
Because that should be an interesting, well done.
Yes.
I know you're working hard on that one.
Right. Boy, am I sweating like a
Yeah,
son
you
of a
are.
gun.
It's almost done. We're done.
This is,
so listen, Joe, if you can get the camera on to me, I will
Get
say
it onto
so
Daryl.
long because he's blowing his hair in the wind. And,
Right,
I
so
mean, holy
and I'm
macaroni.
sweating over here.
He's
Get
over
us
here.
both.
We don't
Get
care
us
about
on
the
the-
sweat. We don't care about the sweat. He's a crow. So listen, folks. Thank you for watching. We hope up in Burlington you got this. We hope you're enjoying the shows we're sending up there. This is a state movement. Hopefully it's actually a movement nationwide, we hope. But we need everybody's help. Visit us at marijuanaresolve.org. Watch us. We'll be here again next week. Take care. Thanks for watching. For Vidda, Crochetta, and myself, Daryl Pillsbury, take care. We'll see you.